Last December, I fled an abusive relationship and crashed with my friend Amy. She lives in an upper level duplex that's quite small, and I stayed there for a while with my cat and dog, which was a lot, as she has a dog also. Next door to the duplex is a cute, old, 4-bedroom house that is owned by Mark, a friend of Amy's who lives abroad. The couple who was renting out Mark's place bought a house and moved out. They suggested to me that it would be a great place for me to stay while I continued my apartment search. I was absolutely elated and agreed. Mine and Amy's dogs could play every day and we could still see each other all the time. I was excited at the opportunity and paid Mark some rent, but mostly he just wanted to help me out with my situation and someone to house sit until he came home in May. I live in a very cold, snowy climate, so looking for a place in May is exponentially easier. Amy informed me the house had quirks and a creepy basement and told me if I ever felt creeped out in there all alone I could come back whenever. She lived in that house for a couple years, so I took her word for it. When one of the tenants showed me the place for the first time, I definitely felt something very off. I chalked it up to the weird layout, the draft, and the lack of sunlight in the rear of the house. Upstairs was 2 bedrooms and a bathroom in the middle. The front bedroom was warm and sunny, and the rest of the upstairs was very cold, noticeably colder than the rest of the house. Upon entering the back upstairs bedroom, it felt like a downward shift, like the energy in that room felt so strange, and I felt like I wasn't wanted in there, so I barely looked around and just closed the door behind me. The first couple weeks, nothing much happened, but I never felt at ease. I felt like I was being watched. I wrote it off as being easily spooked in a large house, and it was my first time living alone. I started having trouble sleeping despite my room, the upstairs front bedroom, being the only place in the house I felt at ease. One night I decided to smoke some weed and watch a movie in the living room, kinda late at night. I fell asleep on the couch and woke up to what I swore was someone running up the stairs and then slamming the back bedroom door. My dog looked startled too and ran upstairs and started growling at the closed door. No one was in there. I decided to lay off the weed, but some nights after that I heard footsteps pacing in the back room. The next thing that started happening was, while I was in the bathtub in the upstairs bathroom, my dog would lay in the doorway and just stare at the back room. Sometimes he would growl or bark at it. I would also come home to find the door open when I definitely shut it, or I would hear my cat meowing to be let in the room. On a couple occasions I found my cat shut in the room. Also, around this time my bath towel went missing and I looked absolutely everywhere for it. It began to take a toll on me. I started having nightmares every night, and I would wake up almost every night to my dog whining between 3 or 4 in the morning. I always felt like I was being watched and the house felt so heavy. I told Amy about all this and she confessed to me that she had some weird experiences in that house when she lived there as well. Her bedroom was the back room, and a couple of times she woke up in a semi-dream state to a man at the end of her bed and began talking to it. She then woke up for real and saw texts from her roommate asking who she was talking to. She would also see things moving out of the corner of her eye, hear footsteps, and feel like she was being watched. She told me of an instance of seeing footsteps in the snow going from the back door to the middle of the lawn and disappearing. One day I was in the living room, hearing footsteps, and just felt so overwhelmed by the presence I was crying and decided to have a go at talking to it. I said, "Hey, I know this is your house too. I'm leaving in a month. I've been through so much pain these past few months. Please just leave me alone. Please let me know you've heard me." Then the door upstairs slammed, and that was the last I heard for a while. The nightmare stopped, and I started sleeping through the night and felt less of the presence. One night, I was hanging out with Amy in her backyard with our dogs and our downstairs neighbor Sam to celebrate me finding an apartment. I went back in my house for some more beers and to grab a sweater. I went to run upstairs, and standing there at the top was an opaque black silhouette. I couldn't make out any features, but it was as real as a person standing there. I screamed and ran back down and turned on the stairway light, only to find no one there and the back room open. Finally, my move-out date had arrived, and I felt so relieved to feel absolutely nothing in my new apartment. I went back to the house one last time to check to see if I forgot anything, and there, right in the middle of the floor of the back room, was my bath towel, still slightly damp as if I had just used it. Nice prank, Ghost. That was the last time I ever stepped foot in that house.